not about technologies like whether you're using processing or Arduino or Photoshop or whatever program or PHP or whatever, but what are the ways that people do things because we have these tools? Because human beings are doing things in a slightly different way. Human beings are social creatures, and I think that social creatures develop and evolve when their means of communication shift. So we have a major shift of communication, which means that human beings are themselves going to be changing and shifting.
Take 2 bits of code from somewhere or some idea and just start running with it and build it and not worry so much about the details of whether it's going to work, because the technology has gotten so good and so inexpensive that pretty much anything you think of is achievable.
I think new media probably changes as technology changes. So as more programs and inventions and stuff come out, new media will develop along with that, and the people who are in new media will, broaden their ideas and what they do with new media through the new technology that comes out.
And I think that that's something that's really important. It's that there's a lot of ways to get something out in front of an audience in a much faster way than before because of viral videos and Twitter and social networks, and there are lots of ways to get audiences to things that are created that are interesting to people.
I think it'd be difficult to say that new media isn't changing just because there's always things adapting and evolving. How so? I mean, I can't really say. Technology's getting better, but who knows what that's going to bring. So I think it's all just going to be kind of what we know evolving to fit the next generation, but in ways that we can't imagine.
And I think it puts power back into the hands of everyday people, as opposed to people with lots of money or power or expertise or resources. It really levels the playing field. And I think that that's probably an incredibly critical thing right now, given that we're in a state of transition in the world where things are really shifting and changing. We're going to have to figure out how to get to lower energy states, how to deal with peak oil, how to deal with climate change, and a lot of our leaders are really missing a lot of opportunities to work on this at the top levels, but there's a tremendous amount of activity at the grassroots level. And if you put media tools and connection tools and social tools and maker tools in the hands of people who are really needing to make a change, then that kind of change can happen. So it's actually really critical that we are, using these tools in this particular space right now.
Learned about permaculture, which that's not new media. That's been around forever, but it's that concept that you can use the design principles or even just the concept itself, pushing it into places it's never been before, like urban communities. So I think the best aspect of new media is that it is everything, and you can make anything new media.
It's all about connecting with the stories and the different ways that stories can be told through different types of technology. There's the traditional film that now has translated into digital video, where you've got almost complete control over the audience, and what they see and what they hear.
Well, we're always told that it's, finding the next big thing and helping create it.
Radio was new media at one point. TV was new media. I don't think TV was ever new media. I'm sorry, but when TV came out, it had already been under the thumb of RCA and NBC and other organizations that had dominated other existing networks like radio. So even though TV in its original manifestation in the 1800s was a two-way Skype call, basically, two-way live transmission between normal people talking to each other, by the time it hit the airwaves in the kind of TV sets in people's homes in the 40s and 50s, it was canned TV shows with commercials. So I wouldn't say that was ever new media because it never had that subversive potential.
New media is definitely changing. I think that it has to change as technology changes. I think that the types of things that people are able to do now early on are much more varied. The kinds of things that people can do now through an app, are things that used to take 40 hours of time in front of a computer, instantly.
The best way to prepare for where new media is going is to not settle on anything. Get really good at learning new things. Don't get attached to a particular technology or a particular framework or a particular programming language or a particular visual style, because they all change.
Now, in the age of the internet, the age of mobile technologies, I see new media exploding again. I see people taking it in directions that people can't predict. Companies going bust, companies going boom, new formats, new ways to use old formats, rising and falling with a great pace, so much so that people really can't keep hold of it.